Welcome back to Fandom Unleashed. You're about to plunge into the most mind-bending corner of the Marvel Universe, peeling back the layers on a character so profoundly powerful, so intrinsically influential, that he quite literally shapes reality as we understand it.
Uh,
Today, we're undertaking a monumental deep dive into the legend of Franklin Richards, often hailed as Marvel's most dangerous child.
that title alone tells you something, doesn't it?
It really does. Get ready, because the sheer scale of his abilities, from conjuring entire pocket universes out of thin air to, yes, having Galactus, the Devourer of Worlds himself, as his personal herald, is genuinely staggering.
And it's crucial to remember it's not merely about the raw, unfathomable power, although that alone is enough to drop jaws. What's truly compelling about Franklin is the wildly contradictory nature of his comic book history.
Right.
The profound ethical dilemmas his very existence poses, and the burning questions that has fueled fan discussions for decades. Think about it. How do you even begin to parent a child who could accidentally blink you out of existence with a simple, frustrated thought?
Exactly. Or like turn the thing into actual pudding because he feels like it.
Precisely. And what does it truly mean for the entirety of the Marvel Universe when its fundamental existence might, in fact, hinge on the subconscious whims of a child? It's huge.
That's the core of it. Our mission in this deep dive is to pull back the curtain on Franklin Richards, exploring every significant era of his life, every astonishing manifestation of his unparalleled power, and of course all the inherent family drama that inevitably comes with being the son of Reed Richards, Mr. Fantastic, and Sue Storm, the Invisible Woman.
It's quite the legacy to inherit.
Oh, absolutely. We're going to trace his incredible, often perplexing journey from his chaotic origins as a baby born with cosmic power, through his evolution to a power level that defies definition, that jaw-dropping, universe-creating feat during the Heroes Reborn saga.
Oh, Heroes Reborn, yeah, it's a big one.
His integral role in the Future Foundation, the recent highly debated Krakoan mutant question, we have to get into that.
We definitely do. The retcon whiplash.
Right. And naturally, the rampant speculation surrounding his imminent and potentially universe-shaking future in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
It promises to be a wild, exhilarating ride, tracing the arc of a character who genuinely embodies the concept of unlimited, almost terrifying potential. You'll understand why his story is central to the very narrative architecture of Marvel.
If you enjoy content like this, we'd be eternally grateful for a like and sub. It helps keep this deep dive going and keeps us from getting blinked out of existence by Franklin.
Please do. We quite like existing.
So let's get started. Okay, let's trace Franklin's story from its earliest, most chaotic beginnings. His birth wasn't just a momentous event for the Fantastic Four. It was a cataclysmic moment that threatened to tear reality apart from day one.
Seriously, day one.
His debut bursts onto the scene way back in '68, immediately setting the stage for the kind of mind-blowing saga we were truly in for. Imagine the Invisible Woman, Sue Storm, grappling with a high-risk pregnancy. But this wasn't merely a health complication. It was because her body, already infused with cosmic radiation from the accident that gave the Fantastic Four their powers, was actively, quite literally, being drained and overwhelmed by the unfathomable cosmic power emanating from her unborn child, Franklin.
The truly compelling aspect here is how that initial crisis immediately established Franklin's innate, almost overwhelming power from the very start. Reed Richards, ever the brilliant but frequently desperate scientist, quickly realized that to save both Sue and the baby, he needed something truly extraordinary, something beyond conventional science.
Something cosmic.
Exactly, his audacious plan. A desperate and perilous venture into the negative zone, that terrifying alternate dimension, to obtain the cosmic control rod from Annihilus.
Not exactly a trip to the corner store.
Not even close.
Yeah.
And this isn't just some random plot device. The rod itself is an artifact of immense, universe-altering power, capable of controlling cosmic energy, granting its wielder virtual immortality, and, most crucially for their immediate need, manipulating matter at a molecular scale.
And its power is genuinely immense. This cosmic control rod, the primary weapon of Annihilus, the sovereign of the negative zone, is often compared to the power cosmic, a fundamental energy source that empowers cosmic beings like Galactus.
It's in that league, definitely.
Reed, along with Ben Grimm, the Thing, and Johnny Storm, the Human Torch, faced incredible peril battling Annihilus and his grotesque forces within the negative zone. They managed to subdue him, extract a portion of the rod's incredible energy, and then, in a stroke of scientific genius, use that extracted power to stabilize Sue's body.
Just enough juice to get the job done.
Exactly. This allowed Franklin to be born healthy and miraculously Sue to survive the ordeal. It's a profound testament to Reed's unparalleled intellect and really the lengths any father would go to protect his family.
Absolutely.
They bestowed upon him the name Franklin Benjamin Richards, honoring Sue and Johnny's late father, Franklin Storm, and their best friend, Ben Grimm, who proudly became his godfather.
That naming choice, connecting this cosmic child to the very human relationships of the Fantastic Four, is incredibly symbolic, isn't it?
It really grounds him, yeah.
But unlike his parents, whose powers manifested after an accident, Franklin was born with his abilities already active. Most Marvel mutants only manifest powers during puberty, sometimes even later. But Franklin was different from the very first breath.
Right out of the gate.
Early issues, like back in the early 70s, immediately showed he was already communicating telepathically as a mere toddler. This was just the faintest tremor of the immense power waiting to erupt.
Just a little telepathic gurgle. No big deal for the Richards family. Nothing to see here.
Totally normal Tuesday at the Baxter Building.
But things escalated dramatically, becoming truly terrifying a bit later on. Annihilus, still nursing a formidable grudge after his defeat, returned and, using a dangerous machine, temporarily unleashed Franklin's full, unbridled potential.
And he was way too young for that.
Oh, completely. He was simply too young, too undeveloped to handle that torrent of psionic energy. Imagine the sheer terror. A toddler with that kind of raw, uncontrolled power.
It's nightmare fuel for any parent, let alone superheroes.
It forced Reed Richards, in one of his most ethically agonizing and questionable decisions, to use a machine of his own to place his own son into a medically induced coma.
Yeah, that was rough.
It was presented as the only way, the absolute last resort, to prevent Franklin from accidentally, subconsciously wiping out all life on Earth. A truly desperate measure for a desperate, unprecedented situation.
This incident is absolutely pivotal because it immediately and unequivocally established the immense, almost untamable nature of Franklin's abilities, even in his infancy. It set a terrifying precedent. His power isn't just a threat to himself, but to literally everything around him if left unchecked. It's a recurring theme in his life.
Definitely.
However, Franklin eventually emerged from that coma. He woke up, and remarkably, he famously defeated Ultron 7 by unleashing a devastating energy blast.
Yeah, took out an Avenger-level threat as a kid waking up from a nap.
Pretty much. This outburst, in a convenient narrative turn for the writers, undid the effects of Annihilus's machine and seemingly reset his powers back to a more manageable level, at least for a time.
Resetting his powers, as you said, but only for a while, because Franklin continued to manifest abilities in truly fascinating and often subconscious ways. He started having vivid dreams of future events, without his parents even having the slightest clue.
Can you imagine? Your kids having prophetic dreams and you just think they ate too much pizza before bed?
Exactly. He even briefly adopted the alias Tattletale, a nod to his burgeoning precognitive abilities, and secretly joined the kids' superhero team, Power Pack.
Oh, Power Pack. Yeah, I remember that. His parents were completely in the dark.
Completely unaware of his secret superhero life, which honestly is peak comic book shenanigans and a testament to the Richards' chaotic home life.
It really is. This Tattletale era is crucial because it further highlights his unique precognitive abilities, which are distinct from his reality warping yet equally powerful in their own right, offering glimpses of what might be.
Another layer to his already complex power set.
And it's another instance of his powers manifesting in a way that his parents, for all their super genius intellect, couldn't fully comprehend or control. Then we arrive at the infamous Rubik's Cube incident.
Oh, the Rubik's Cube incident, that's a classic. He subconsciously transformed himself into an adult, a towering, radiant, almost messianic figure known as Avatar.
Right, because he got frustrated playing with a toy and heard someone on TV say, "Grow up." Talk about taking things literally.
Totally. This adult Franklin, still possessing the confused, innocent mind of a child, inadvertently unleashed chaos. He even inadvertently wiped the minds of Johnny, Ben, and Reed.
Which is terrifying in itself.
It took Sue, recognizing her son despite his drastically altered form, to help him revert. And upon reverting, what was Reed's response?
Here we go again.
He made the incredibly controversial decision to place psychological inhibitors or mental blocks deep within Franklin's mind, intentionally limiting his powers until he was mature enough to handle them responsibly.
Which created immense internal tension for Reed and Sue, trying to raise a semblance of a normal child while living with the constant gnawing fear of the true, catastrophic extent of his capabilities.
This parental burden is a recurring, heartbreaking theme. Imagine the sheer constant terror of having a toddler who could accidentally warp reality, or transform your Uncle Ben Grimm into, say, a rock, simply because he thought it would make him happy.
It's an impossible situation.
Mm.
What's truly fascinating here is how this decision by Reed sets up a profound, recurring theme of Franklin's unconscious power protecting his family, sometimes in unintended, even catastrophic ways. Reed's inhibitors were a desperate attempt to control the uncontrollable, an ethical tightrope that few parents, let alone a super genius like Reed, could ever navigate without profound internal struggle.
So if we pull back and ask what this all means for the family dynamic of Marvel's first family, it's clear. It means the Richards family isn't just dealing with the usual threats of supervillains and cosmic invaders. They are literally living with a ticking reality bomb in their own home.
Right in the living room.
They're trying desperately to give their son a normal childhood while knowing, deep down, he's anything but normal. It adds such a profound layer of tragic depth and human struggle to characters who already face incredible odds, grounding their cosmic adventures in very relatable, albeit amplified, parental anxiety.
Yeah, it makes them more human, paradoxically.
Now, the narrative truly explodes. We've explored Franklin's early, chaotic displays of power, but it's time to delve into his true classification. Beyond Omega level.
Okay, buckle up.
Many comic fans are familiar with what an Omega-level mutant signifies. Marvel officially defines it as a mutant whose dominant power possesses an undefinable upper limit. Think of Magneto's mastery over magnetism or Jean Grey's immense telepathic prowess.
Right, there's no known upper limit to that specific power, like Iceman with temperature manipulation, Omega.
Exactly. A mutant like Forge, for instance, can manipulate technology with incredible skill, but there's a theoretical limit to his power. For an Omega, there is no such limit within their specific domain. Jean Grey is an Omega-level telepath, for example, but not necessarily a telekinetic Omega.
Precisely. Now, beyond Omega level takes that already boundless concept and throws it out the window, shattering it completely. Imagine trying to describe something that transcends infinity itself. It's like trying to quantify the infinite.
It breaks math.
It really does. Beyond Omega level means their abilities transcend even the concept of an upper limit. It's not just immeasurable, it's conceptually limitless, a power that reshapes reality at its very foundation. It implies a power that can defy, rewrite, or even create the very rules of reality itself.
He's not just powerful, he is raw, unadulterated power incarnate. Franklin Richards, often now referred to by his more recent alias Powerhouse, is not only a confirmed Omega-level mutant, he is also definitively classified as beyond Omega level.
The classification almost feels inadequate, doesn't it?
It really does. His Omega power. Universal reality and manipulation. Consider this. The mad celestials themselves, these ancient godlike beings responsible for shaping galaxies, stared at a future, older version of Franklin and his sister Valeria and openly declared him a human mutant anomaly beyond Omega classification reality distortion, universal shaper galactic constant danger.
They basically said, this kid breaks reality and is a danger to the whole galaxy.
And then, as if to underscore that very title, he proceeded to blink them out of existence with a single thought. That is the terrifying, mind-bending level of power we are discussing.
If we truly connect this to the bigger picture, the sheer audacity of a child, inadvertently shaping and reshaping reality for decades, is absolutely staggering. His core abilities are, frankly, breathtaking in their cosmic scope.
Let's try and list some just to grasp it.
Okay, reality warping. Manipulating reality on a universal scale with just his thoughts, even as a child. He's been shown to conjure entire pocket universes.
We'll get back to that one.
Oh yeah. Resurrect dead beings with a thought, stabilize or completely reshape entire planets, duplicate living beings down to their atomic structure, generate entire complex ecosystems, and even fundamentally alter the fabric of time and space.
And the list doesn't end there. Beyond reality warping, he can unleash devastating energy blasts of cosmic force, erect impenetrable protective force fields that can withstand blows from cosmic entities, and channel psionic energy into incredibly potent constructs.
Plus manipulating fundamental forces, right?
Mm-hmm.
Gravity, electromagnetism.
On a cosmic scale. stabilizing dying stars, creating or nullifying black holes with a whim, and even replicating the nexus of all realities, which, for context, is the central convergence point and source of all dimensions and realities within the Marvel
He's
multiverse.
basically got the universe's control panel.
Pretty much. Furthermore, he is a formidable telepath and telekinetic, capable of reading minds, controlling thoughts, creating vast illusions or mental barriers, accessing and manipulating the astral plane, and resisting the mental intrusions of even the most skilled telepaths, including Professor Charles Xavier himself.
His psi shields are legendary. He can even hide his Omega signature.
Right. He can teleport across the multiverse, travel through time, achieve flight, merge his consciousness with others. The sheer versatility is mind-boggling. Even his prediction powers manifest as incredibly vivid dreams of highly probable future events, and he has demonstrated a profound, intuitive cosmic awareness, a literal understanding of the universe's workings.
His power has earned the awe and respect of cosmic entities that are literally responsible for the creation of the Marvel Universe.
Yeah.
Even the Celestials, these impossibly ancient godlike beings, acknowledge and respect his innate power, a distinction that very few characters ever achieve.
Which is just, wow.
This brings us to a crucial point. If his power is so fast, what does the label mutation even signify for him? It almost seems like a quaint, insufficient descriptor for something so fundamental to the cosmos.
My mind is absolutely reeling just considering the implications. And when we talk about adult Franklin versions, the story gets even wilder. We've seen Sword, a future version trained by Nathaniel Richards, who went on to establish the Fantastic Force.
Right, that timeline got complicated.
But then there's the incredibly powerful future version who returned to the past in Jonathan Hickman's seminal run. This adult Franklin was capable of destroying Celestials with effortless ease and famously turned Galactus, the devourer of worlds, into his personal herald.
Yeah, that moment. Unforgettable.
It was powerfully implied that this version of Franklin becomes virtually immortal in the distant future.
And this incredible revelation leads us directly into one of the most persistent, mind-bending, and compelling fan theories in Marvel history. That Franklin Richards secretly, and often subconsciously, controls the entire Marvel Universe.
Okay, I love this theory. Let's dive in.
The theory posits that his immense, often latent reality-warping abilities are the fundamental reason for many of the Marvel Universe's enduring narrative quirks and perceived inconsistencies. For instance, the idea that he willed his older self to appear as a child would ideally envision him as a heroic, omnipotent figure who manifests at the perfect, most desperate moment to save the day.
Like a kid playing with action figures and deciding the super powerful version shows up just in time.
Exactly like that. I mean, the supporting evidence is truly compelling when you look at it. As far back as the 70s, Franklin was spoken of in almost prophetic terms, as if he literally had galaxies at his feet. And there was that prediction. The world would be too small for him.
Which turned out to be literally true.
Totally. These weren't just flowery, poetic descriptions. They were literal foreshadowing of his ultimate destiny. We know from Hickman's run that Galactus himself, the ultimate cosmic survivor, was left in profound awe of Franklin's power.
And Galactus revealed that prophecy, right, about the end of the universe.
Yeah, the heat death prophecy. That when the universe finally reaches its end, they will be the only two beings left in existence, ultimately merging into a new, singular cosmic entity. So that statement, the world would be too small for him, is not just accurate, it's an understatement. This brings us to a critical question. If Franklin is doing all of this unconsciously, is it truly his will driving the narrative? Or is it an instinctive, perhaps childlike desire for things to remain in a certain equilibrium?
Like he just wants his toys to stay the way they are.
Kind of. The theory powerfully suggests he's the underlying reason why heroes never truly die in Marvel. Think about it. Since his introduction in 1968, only characters like Uncle Ben and Gwen Stacy had generally remained dead, and even they have found ways to return in capacities Peter Parker could eventually come to terms with.
Right, almost everyone else comes back somehow.
Consider Colossus, who tragically died from the legacy virus, only to return years later, having seemingly been taken prisoner and experimented on. It fits this uncanny pattern of impossible returns.
And then there's the famous sliding timeline concept. Prior to Franklin's introduction, Marvel Comics largely adhered to real-world time. If you picked up an issue in October 1962, the story was, broadly speaking, set in October 1962.
Things aged, characters changed more permanently.
But after Franklin's debut, Marvel gradually, almost imperceptibly, stopped following real time, to the point that the universe essentially became static, existing in an perpetual present. The theory posits that Franklin subconsciously created this static universe where his favorite heroes and villains could perpetually repeat their stories, ensuring they never truly changed or faded away. It's like a cosmic, never-ending toy box.
It's a truly fascinating meta-commentary on the very nature of comic book storytelling and continuity. This theory suggests that his unconscious worry about his family constantly being in danger could subtly lead him to fix things by consistently returning them to how he believes they should be.
Keeping everything familiar and safe in his mind.
Exactly. The theory uses the perceived death of Johnny Storm in Hickman's run as a prime example. Johnny seemingly sacrificed himself in the negative zone against Annihilus' forces, a scenario that, by all accounts, should have resulted in his permanent demise.
Looked pretty final.
But what transpired instead? Johnny wasn't dead at all. He was merely knocked out, captured, and then against all odds, somehow managed to seize the cosmic control rod himself, leading an army against Annihilus, and improbably taking his place as ruler of the negative zone.
And this is where that little kid daydream logic really shines through. Instead of Johnny just being dead and gone, Franklin's subconscious, driven by his pure perception of his heroic uncle, concocted this incredibly convoluted, fantastically improbable explanation for his return.
It perfectly encapsulates how a child, desperately wanting their favorite characters to always win and never truly disappear, would subconsciously rewrite the story to ensure that very outcome. It means villains perpetually resurface to be defeated again, and heroes consistently find a way to survive against insurmountable odds.
Like watching ants endlessly go around in circles, as Franklin was observed doing as a child once. He simply wanted things to be that way, and so fundamentally they were.
The Marvel Universe in this theory is essentially Franklin's never-ending, ever-resetting sandbox.
It's an utterly bonkers concept, and frankly, I love it. It explains so much.
It really does offer a potential, if slightly terrifying, explanation.
Now, for the next colossal event that dramatically shaped Franklin's timeline, the Heroes Reborn saga. This entire storyline was born directly out of the cataclysmic events of the Onslaught saga.
Oh boy, Onslaught. That was a time.
For those who might need a quick refresher, Onslaught was a terrifying psychic entity, a monstrous fusion created when Professor Xavier's deep frustration with humanity merged with Magneto's ingrained hatred for the human race.
A psychic nightmare made manifest.
This newly formed entity embarked on an unstoppable rampage, absorbing incredibly powerful beings like Franklin Richards himself and the powerful mutant Nate Gray. The only conceivable way to stop Onslaught's reign of terror was for virtually all of Earth's non-mutant superheroes, and we're talking about the absolute A-list here. The Avengers, the Fantastic Four, even the formidable Doctor Doom to make the ultimate sacrifice.
They literally jumped into the monster to stop it.
They heroically jumped into Onslaught's energy form, sacrificing themselves, seemingly dying in the process.
The truly compelling aspect here is that this collective sacrifice wasn't, in fact, the end. It was the catalyst for Franklin's most profound, albeit completely unconscious, act of reality shaping to date.
He couldn't let them stay dead.
Exactly. Franklin, in an act driven by his deep-seated desire to protect his family and the heroes he admired, subconsciously created an entirely separate universe. This wasn't just a small pocket dimension, it was a fully functional parallel reality known as the Heroes Reborn universe, often referred to as Counter-Earth.
Wow.
His profound purpose: to resurrect all those dead heroes and allow their stories to continue in an unspoiled continuity. He quite literally carried this nascent universe around with him, symbolically embodied in the form of a small, iconic blue ball.
The blue ball. That visual is indelibly seared into the minds of any comic fan who experienced that era firsthand.
Yeah.
Perhaps the most unsettling part. Franklin didn't even consciously realize he had done it.
Oop, zero clue.
This wasn't a calculated decision. It was the raw, unbridled power of his subconscious mind, fundamentally unwilling to accept the profound loss of his heroes and, more importantly, his family. He simply knew instinctively that he needed to hold on to that blue ball, to nurture it.
This further highlights the terrifying scope of his unacknowledged power. Imagine being a mere child, completely unaware that you've just single-handedly rebooted an entire reality.
It's mind-boggling.
Eventually, a celestial named Ashmer appeared directly to Franklin. This cosmic entity gently explained that Franklin had, in his grief and subconscious will, created another reality, and that due to fundamental cosmic balance, one of these realities had to be destroyed.
Celestial intervention, that's serious.
Yeah, basically the universe calling tech support because a kid broke it. This was a direct, almost paternal intervention from a cosmic being to a child who had inadvertently and irrevocably altered the very cosmic order of existence.
And what was Franklin's profound choice? He chose to preserve Earth 616, the original established continuity, and miraculously return the Heroes Reborn characters to their proper place within that original timeline.
Which led to the hero's return storyline.
Exactly. The meta implications of this entire saga are simply enormous. From a publishing perspective, this event was Marvel's controversial reboot of its continuity, a massive editorial gamble, and Franklin Richards was presented as the in-universe, undeniable reason for it.
He effectively took out the entire Marvel universe, and it took the very fabric of that universe embodied by a celestial to tell him to put it back.
Talk about power.
This brings us to a crucial question that ripples through his entire history. Does great power always come with great responsibility, even if you are completely unaware of wielding it?
That's the million-dollar question with Franklin, isn't it?
It really is. The ethical implications of a child possessing the power to create and destroy entire universes, even if subconsciously, are truly profound. It ties back powerfully into the fan theory that Franklin likes the world the way it is, a comfortable narrative for him, and subtly changes things back when circumstances jeopardize that perceived status quo.
He acts as a kind of unconscious reflection of the status quo that Marvel maintains through its continuous publication.
Precisely. He undeniably can manipulate entire timelines and adjust the histories of Marvel superheroes, a concept that writers have frequently borrowed and played with, particularly with the Days of Future Past paradigm, where a single powerful act can influence and reshape the flow of time and other events through Franklin's reality-warping abilities.
The sheer magnitude of a child rebooting the entire Marvel universe, that's conceptually limitless power right there, taking infinity times infinity to a literal cosmic scale.
It must have been incredibly traumatic for Franklin, even if he wasn't consciously aware of creating or destroying the universe. The sheer burden of such power, even when hidden deep in the subconscious, is immense and terrifying.
Definitely left some scars, conscious or not.
This event also unequivocally solidified his role as a reality shaper on a cosmic scale, confirming him as something truly unique, even among other Omega-level beings. It's no wonder he's consistently referred to as Marvel's most dangerous child.
Now let's explore what this all means for the family legacy, particularly during the Future Foundation era. After Johnny Storm's perceived sacrifice, a truly devastating moment that sent shockwaves through the team and the Marvel Universe, Reed Richards formed the Future Foundation.
Right, the black and white suits, the focus on fixing everything.
Exactly. This wasn't just another superhero team. It was Reed's ambitious brainchild, a collective of brilliant minds dedicated to solving humanity's most complex problems for a brighter tomorrow, encompassing science, art, and even mysticism. And Franklin, naturally, with his burgeoning intellect and unparalleled power, found himself regularly and intrinsically involved in their world-changing missions alongside his brilliant sister, Valeria.
If we connect this to the broader narrative tapestry, Franklin's involvement in the Future Foundation profoundly deepened his ties to his family's core mission of scientific exploration and universal betterment. This era, particularly Jonathan Hickman's sprawling epic run, intricately linked Franklin to Reed Richards' own journey with the Council of Reeds.
Oh, the Council. That was a concept.
A wild one. These were not just a few variants. They were countless Reed Richards from across the multiverse, all working in a grand, yet ultimately doomed, collaborative effort to solve all universal problems, believing their combined genius could conquer any challenge.
Hubris. Thy name is Reed Richards. Times infinity.
Pretty much. Their ambitious pursuit, however, drew the catastrophic attention of the mad Celestials, insane, destructive cosmic gods from an alternate universe who, in their rage, systematically hunted down and destroyed the Council, one Reed at a time.
And this is precisely where Nathaniel Richards, Reed's eccentric, often enigmatic, and deeply impactful time-traveling father, steps into the spotlight.
Good old Nathaniel, always messing with time.
Nathaniel had been working behind the scenes for an incredibly long time, across countless iterations and timelines, desperately trying to prevent Reed's inevitable death at the hands of these mad Celestials. He had seen hundreds of iterations of this day, each one culminating in Reed's demise.
But Franklin, with an unwavering love for his father, simply wouldn't stand for it.
Nope, not on his watch.
This brings us to the absolutely climactic, universe-shaking battle. The mad Celestials, these impossibly powerful cosmic entities, had even managed to defeat Galactus, tearing him down and leaving him for dead. It looked like everything was lost. The multiverse teetered on the brink.
End of the line.
But then, in a moment that sent legitimate chills down every comic reader's spine, The adult Franklin and Valeria, having meticulously traveled from the future, orchestrated by Nathaniel's long game plans, dramatically appear.
The cavalry arrives, and it's the kids all grown up.
Right. This isn't just about raw power. It's about a son's unbreakable resolve to save his father, an incredibly emotional, deeply human core woven into this grand, cosmic saga. Adult Franklin then does something truly awe-inspiring. He absorbs the stored power of his younger self.
Wait, stored power? From the inhibitors?
Exactly. Remember those mental blocks Reed painstakingly put in place? Franklin from the future had been subtly teaching his younger self to harness and store that immense latent energy, preparing him for this singular, defining moment.
Well, okay, that's some long-term planning.
Nathaniel and future Franklin were playing chess across time. And then came the iconic, reverberating line, the declaration that will forever live in Marvel history. Franklin shouts, "Rise to me, my Galactus."
Chills. Literally chills every time.
And with that command, he miraculously resurrects the Devourer of Worlds, compelling him to become his personal herald. Just imagine that. Galactus, the being who consumes entire planets to sustain himself, now commanded almost affectionately by a young man.
It's the ultimate power move.
What followed was a spectacular, almost balletic display of power, as Franklin and Galactus utterly dominated the Mad Celestials. Galactus, fueled by Franklin's will, ripped one colossal celestial in half, and Franklin, with a single devastating thought, obliterated the last one from existence. The sheer, immense power displayed, even earning Galactus's profound awe and praise as the most powerful mutant ever born, is unparalleled.
Galactus himself was impressed. That says everything.
It truly is a defining moment. This battle cemented Franklin's true role as meticulously established in Hickman's ambitious run. He is not merely a reality warper, he is a universal shaper who possesses the innate ability to give the universe any form he desires.
So he's not just editing reality, he's writing it from scratch.
Fundamentally. And this culminates dramatically at the monumental conclusion of Secret Wars. When the entire multiverse faced imminent, unavoidable collapse, Reed Richards, armed with the power of Molecule Man as the absolute wellspring of cosmic energy and Reed's vast, indelible memory of the fallen multiverse, needed someone to actually shape the new reality into being.
He needed an architect.
Franklin, with his unique power, was that singular shaper. He personally rebuilt the multiverse from the ground up, creating the eighth cosmos, essentially the latest iteration or entire existence of the Marvel Universe, and would then populate that universe with life and all kinds of stuff, effectively acting as its benevolent creator.
He's not just powerful, he's the architect of reality itself, a literal cosmic deity in the form of a human.
Pretty much sums it up. And the post-Secret Wars dynamic between Franklin and Galactus is truly fascinating and deeply paradoxical. Galactus, the literal embodiment of destruction, the devourer, transitions into Franklin's mentor, his trusted companion, and even his unwavering protector.
From devourer to, like, cosmic guidance counselor?
Wow. Kind of. He meticulously helps Franklin learn to approach creation responsibly, guiding him, and remembers the vast, complex history of the multiverse for him. In a cosmic paradox, Galactus actually exists because of Franklin.
Wait, explain that.
Franklin is objectively stronger, more powerful than Galactus, who was born in the sixth cosmos and miraculously survived into the seventh. But without Franklin's intervention at the end of Secret Wars, Galactus would have surely perished. So now, he walks the eighth cosmos, not just as a survivor, but as a being given renewed purpose by Franklin.
Whoa, okay, so Galactus owes Franklin his entire existence in the current reality.
Essentially, yes. It beautifully completes their complex yin-yang dynamic, a cosmic dance of creation and destruction. While his father, Reed Richards, brilliantly uses his genius-level intellect to defeat cosmic threats with intricate devices and elaborate, often unimaginable plans, Franklin relies on raw, godlike, inherent power.
Brains versus ultimate cosmic power.
Reed is the ultimate intellectual, the scientific innovator. Franklin is the omnipotent, fundamental force. It's the ultimate son-saving father narrative, taken to an unimaginable multiversal scale. Franklin's power here isn't just about wanton destruction. It's profoundly about creation, about the rebuilding of existence, and at its heart, the incredible emotional weight of a son defying fate itself to save the people he loves most.
And that Rise to Me, my Galactus line. It's not just a declaration of power, it's a moment of incredible narrative triumph for a character who had been so burdened by his abilities. It still sends shivers down my spine.
Mine too. It's incredible to see such a deep emotional theme played out on such an unbelievably cosmic canvas.
All right, now for the next dramatic twist, because the Krakoan era of the X-Men dropped an absolute bombshell on Franklin Richards' long-established identity.
Oh, yeah. This one.
Yeah.
This one got people talking. A lot.
For decades, it was long-standing, unwavering canon that Franklin was an Omega-level mutant, undeniably possessing the X gene. When the sovereign mutant nation of Krakoa was established, a safe haven for all mutants, it was only natural that Franklin, being one of the most powerful mutants ever to exist, would receive an invitation to live there.
Makes sense. He's arguably the most powerful mutant, period. Of course he gets an invite.
He had strong, established connections to Charles Xavier and other young mutants. He accepted the invitation with open arms, and he proudly appeared in titles like Marauders, welcomed as one of the most influential and powerful X-Men.
The truly compelling aspect here is that his mutant status was, for all intents and purposes, a defining foundational characteristic of his being. It was mutable.
Or so we thought.
Exactly. However, this seemingly solid, unshakable identity was then inexplicably thrown into utter disarray by a truly controversial retcon. A specific Fantastic Four issue came out, written by Dan Slott, and it shockingly revealed that Franklin was, in fact, never truly a mutant.
Wait, what?
The narrative stated that he had mysteriously lost his powers while fighting an obscure alien named Comrant. When he attempted to use the Krakoan gateways, which are exclusively accessible to registered mutants, he found he couldn't.
Okay, that's a big clue. Something's wrong.
Right. And then came the real kicker, the narrative gut punch. Professor X telepathically revealed that Franklin had, in a subconscious act of childhood, self-infused his own DNA with the X gene.
He made himself a mutant with his powers.
Essentially, yes. He had, in essence, biologically willed it into existence because he wished and strongly desired to be considered a genuine part of the mutant community, to belong. He had foundationally transformed himself, seemingly creating his own mutant identity out of sheer willpower.
Whoa.
You can only begin to imagine the immediate visceral backlash and heated debates that erupted among fans and critics alike about this profound retcon. It was a massive, unprecedented shakeup to a beloved character's very core identity. It forced us to ask, what does it truly mean to be a mutant if you can simply will yourself into it?
Yeah, that messes with the whole concept if you can just decide to be a mutant because you have reality warping powers.
Exactly. This brings us to a crucial point. If his power is already so incredibly vast, what does the specific label mutation even signify for him? This retcon, despite its controversy, delves into the very nature of identity and belonging for a character who literally possesses omnipotent power. It forced a conversation about what defines someone when they can alter fundamental reality.
So was that the end of it? He's just not a mutant anymore.
Well, no. The subsequent re-retcon, which thankfully arrived later, was an attempt to clarify this tangled web and walk back the earlier, largely unpopular narrative decision. It stated that Franklin is a mutant, but he intentionally removed his knowledge of his powers and alters reality to be depowered, essentially putting his own abilities into a kind of self-imposed subconscious stasis.
Okay, so he is a mutant, but he's pretending not to be, even to himself.
That seems to be the current understanding. So his current status, as explored in the ongoing Fantastic Four run, is that he only remembers and allows himself to consciously use his powers once a year for a very specific 24-hour window.
Once a year, what does he do? Spring cleaning the cosmos.
Sort of. He meticulously monitors and guides events in the universe that would profoundly affect Earth, subtly ensuring his heroes still win and things remain relatively stable. Basically, a cosmic checkup.
Wow. Okay.
That's the choice.
This, of course, has a major consequence. It now prevents him from permanently residing on Krakoa, the mutant-only island, because he's not actively using his powers to register as mutant there for most of the year.
And when he does tap into his abilities during that 24-hour window, his new superhero alias is Powerhouse.
Powerhouse. Fits, I guess, for his one day a year on the job.
The debates surrounding this have been incredibly intense. Was he ever truly a mutant, or was he something else entirely, given these constantly shifting retcons? This profound identity crisis deeply impacts Franklin's character and undoubtedly strains his relationships with both the Fantastic Four and the X-Men.
You gotta feel for the kid. Talk about an identity crisis.
Right. It touches on the powerful fan theory that this entire saga was Franklin subconsciously trying to be normal, to fit in, or perhaps more cynically, reflecting a shifting editorial decision within Marvel about his precise place in the grand tapestry of the universe.
Or maybe it's just Franklin subconsciously messing with the writers again.
Who knows at this point? He still attends significant events like the Hellfire Gala with his family, demonstrating camaraderie with other mutants like Kate Pride, but his direct long-term involvement with the Krakoan society is now heavily limited by his own choices.
I mean, Marvel's back and forth on his mutant status is almost amusing in its sheer absurdity if it weren't so frustrating for dedicated fans. It genuinely makes you wonder if the Franklin controls the Marvel Universe theory isn't just a fun fan theory, but a subconscious acknowledgement by the writers themselves that Franklin's power is so immense, his very existence can literally rewrite the rules of the narrative.
It's almost as if the writers themselves are grappling with a character whose power is almost too much to contain within a consistent, singular storyline. It certainly makes for compelling, if sometimes confusing, reads, but it also means Franklin's identity is constantly in flux, which must be quite the burden for a teenager.
Seriously. Okay, all right, now for the part everyone is buzzing about, the topic that has the entire fandom in a frenzy. Franklin's much-anticipated future in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Experience a difficult, high-risk pregnancy, likely due to cosmic radiation, which would logically compel Reed Richards on a desperate, perilous trip to the negative zone in search of Annihilus' cosmic control rod to save both her and their unborn child.
Bringing that core origin story right to the forefront.
Exactly. This dramatic quest, in turn, could powerfully attract not only Annihilus himself to their universe, but also, crucially, the planet-consuming cosmic entity Galactus. The trailers have already given us a chilling glimpse of Galactus ominously looking through the Baxter building window, apparently fixated on baby Franklin even before his birth.
That's a deep, incredibly complicated connection straight from the comics. Franklin and Galactus have this intense, almost paradoxical yin-yang relationship of creation and destruction, beginning with fear, evolving into mentorship, and ultimately Galactus becoming his herald.
It's widely theorized that Galactus might be drawn to Franklin's immense power signal, which could be radiating with incredible intensity directly from Sue's womb. A popular fan theory, which draws inspiration from some alternate timelines, suggests that Galactus sends the Silver Surfer Shalabel, who we've also glimpsed in trailers, to Earth, for two terrifying reasons.
Oh, what are they?
One, to completely prevent Franklin's birth, viewing him as a cosmic anomaly too powerful to exist. And two, to consume the entire planet, easing his insatiable hunger and definitively ending any chance of another being like Franklin ever coming into existence.
Whoa, okay, that's dark. Prevent the birth and eat the planet.
Double whammy. This chilling theory connects directly to footage we've seen, showing the Silver Surfer aggressively attacking an apparently pregnant Sue Storm.
That makes so much sense now.
This brings us to a crucial question for the MCU. Will they truly commit to the full scope of Franklin's cosmic powers? Or will they tone him down for the sake of narrative grounding?
That's always the question with these god-tier characters.
We've also observed Giganto destroying the city in the trailers, a clear visual reference to early Fantastic Four comics, indicating that other classic villains will be involved. But the core plot could very well revolve around Galactus sensing this incredible, unprecedented energy radiating from Sue's body and attempting to understand, contain, or even nullify it.
Maybe he doesn't even know what it is, just that it's immense.
Could be. We also know Reed Richards will discover that incursions are taking place, a devastating cosmic phenomenon where two realities dangerously collide and threaten mutual destruction. This alarming discovery might logically lead the Fantastic Four, and potentially even Galactus himself, to seek refuge by traveling to a new, intact universe to survive the impending multiversal collapse.
Setting up Secret Wars implications right there.
Absolutely. The Thunderbolts post-credit scene, showing the Fantastic Four spaceship, strongly implies that Galactus is right behind them, setting up future multiversal chaos on an unimaginable scale.
Now, here's where the speculation gets truly interesting. Rumors and theories run wild about Franklin's pivotal role in future multiversal saga films like Avengers, Doomsday and Avengers.
The Secret Wars. He has to be key, right, given his comic history.
You'd think. If they adhere closely to the comics, Franklin's perceived death in Doomsday and his subsequent miraculous resurrection could be absolutely key, providing the catalyst needed to recreate the new multiverse in Secret Wars.
Just like in the comics, being the Shaper with Reed and Molecule Man.
Exactly. We could potentially witness the dramatic introduction of an adult Franklin, perhaps the Sword version, and his sister Valeria from the future, both having been trained by the time-traveling Nathaniel Richards, perfectly aligning with their pivotal roles in the comic Secret Wars event. His ultimate role could be the Grand Architect, rebuilding the multiverse from its shattered fragments, and establishing the cosmic balance with Galactus, perfectly mirroring their profound comic dynamic within the MCU.
The sheer potential for either cosmic chaos or multiversal salvation that this child represents in the MCU is staggering. And there's a truly wild theory circulating among fans.
Ooh, another one. Lay it on me.
That Franklin could inadvertently become the origin point for mutants in the new Earth 616 MCU.
Get out! Really?
Yeah. His reality warping powers in an unconscious act could be used to subtly integrate X genes into humanity's evolutionary path, providing a clean, in-universe and organic explanation for the X-Men's sudden arrival in the main continuity, bypassing the need for a simple, out-of-universe retcon.
Oh my God, that actually works. That solves the X-Men problem perfectly.
It's elegant, right?
Yeah.
It makes you wonder, who do you cast as a literal universal shaper? And are we going to see him turn Mole Man into a hamster at some point?
Please let that happen, just once. His deep, established connection to Charles Xavier and the X-Men in the comics could play out by him subconsciously rewriting them into Earth 616 post-Secret Wars, especially since that will be the Fantastic Four's new home.
Imagine him being profoundly impressed by the X-Men during the chaos of Battleworld, and then instinctively deciding, yes, they absolutely must be a part of this new reality I'm creating. It fits his character.
It totally does.
It's an incredibly challenging adaptation for such an immensely overpowered character. The MCU has historically grounded its powers somewhat, giving them internal logic. But if they commit to the full, overwhelming scope of his abilities, Franklin could literally disrupt any timeline he appears in, making him an unpredictable force.
He becomes the ultimate wild card.
His story arc can seamlessly blend elements of his self-imposed depowerment, the dramatic appearance of his adult future self, and his foundational role in creation itself. Either way, Franklin Richards is said to be one of the most exciting, potentially game-changing, and certainly reality-altering characters ever introduced to the MCU, perhaps matching or even surpassing the power levels of established entities like the Scarlet Witch or the Celestials.
The possibilities are genuinely infinite. This little kid, a baby in first steps, could quite literally be the linchpin for not just the entire multiverse saga, but also the seamless integration of the X-Men. That's an unbelievable amount of cosmic power to wield for someone who still needs a babysitter.
It's going to be fascinating to watch unfold.
So after that epic journey through the convoluted, astonishing life of Franklin Richards, let's synthesize some core takeaways, distilling the essence of his impact on the Marvel Universe.
Sounds good. Where do we start?
First and foremost, let's reiterate his power. We've established that Franklin Richards is not merely Omega level, but demonstrably beyond Omega level.
Right, the scale is just broken.
He is, unequivocally, a universal reality warper, capable of creation and destruction on a truly cosmic scale, often even subconsciously, from conjuring entirely new pocket universes out of nothingness, to bringing the formidable Galactus to heel as his personal herald. His abilities defy conventional measurement and comprehension. He is fundamentally a force of nature.
Then there's his profound identity crisis. His journey has been a turbulent, often contradictory one, from being canonically identified as an Omega-level mutant for decades, through the controversial retcons that questioned and then reaffirmed that very status.
The whole was he or wasn't he saga.
Exactly. And now to his current state of intentional depowerment, where he only allows himself to consciously use his abilities once a year. This profound struggle with the immense burden of his innate abilities has unequivocally shaped him, forcing him to grapple with what it truly means to be Franklin Richards in a universe he can unilaterally reshape.
A universe he might have subconsciously created the rules for.
Precisely. And finally, his colossal multiversal role. Franklin has been not just instrumental, but absolutely pivotal in creating and rebuilding entire universes. From the Heroes Reborn Counter-Earth, which saved Marvel's heroes from oblivion, to his foundational role in rebuilding the shattered multiverse after the devastating Secret Wars, ushering in the Eighth Cosmos, a new era of existence.
He's literally hit the reset button on reality multiple times.
And his unique, incredibly complex relationship with Galactus, evolving from a feared entity to a trusted mentor, embodies the very balance of creation and destruction at the heart of the cosmos.
Throughout his incredible story, we can identify several powerful recurring themes that define his narrative. There's the constant palpable tension between power versus control, the seemingly endless struggle for Franklin, and indeed for his parents, to manage his limitless, often subconscious abilities, and the profound ethical dilemmas that inevitably come with wielding such immense cosmic power.
Then there's the deeply moving dynamic of family versus fate. Franklin's unwavering, deep bond with the Fantastic Four, especially his father Reed, often drives him to defy universal constants and even fate itself to save his loved ones, as vividly demonstrated when he rescued Reed from the inevitable demise at the hands of the Mad Celestials. His love for his family literally changes reality.
Which is just beautiful in a cosmic, terrifying way.
Right. And lastly, we see the fascinating blurring of lines between science versus magic, or perhaps the lack thereof. His powers often exist beyond simple scientific explanation. They are sometimes attributed to cosmic rays, other times to his inherent mutant nature, or simply manifest as a fundamental force of existence beyond human comprehension, making him a truly enigmatic, almost mythical figure within the Marvel canon.
He just is.
Franklin Richards didn't just change the game, he became the game.
Truly. That sums it up perfectly. It forces us to ponder. What kind of future does Marvel have in store for a character who can literally reshape reality at will? And what does that mean for the stories we get to read and watch?
Yeah, where do you go from here?
Is he destined to be a benevolent guardian, an unpredictable ticking time bomb, or something else entirely yet to be defined? His existence challenges the very nature of narrative stakes within a fictional universe.
With Franklin Richards, the only constant is change itself, and even that is often at his whim. The infinite possibilities for his character are a powerful testament to his unique and unparalleled place in the Marvel Universe, and it's a journey that will undoubtedly continue to evolve in unexpected reality-bending ways for decades to come.